revenue is not profit. In 2023, I made 3.3 million in sales in my low ticket online coaching, membership, and digital product business. So here you can see my Stripe account. And in this video, I will tell you exactly how much of that was profit. And I will use this opportunity to have a few uncomfortable but important conversations with you to finally talk about things I think we all need to talk more about in the online coaching industry. If that sounds fair, let me just share my profit with you, right? So out of the 3.3 million in sales, only $616,000 were private net income after all taxes, after all expenses. So that is only 18% profit margin. For some people, that's not a lot of money and that's a really small margin. For me personally, I am deeply grateful and it's life-changing and it's amazing because I was also able to build and lead and live with this business on my own terms in a way that aligns with my values. Okay, so this was the first thing. Revenue is not profit. And when somebody talks about how much money they're making, I would love if you could ask yourself or them, like in all transparency, what about the profit, right? Because very often it can be a little bit misleading if we're only talking about revenue. So I already said private net income after tax. The next uncomfortable conversation I want to have with you is taxes. In 2023, I paid $56,000, not on taxes, but on tax due diligence. So I'm an Austrian citizen. I co-own my business with my Canadian husband. It's a Canadian corporation, and we do sell worldwide. So we invested in an international accounting firm that has partners in all of the locations where we sell heavily to do our tax due diligence, figure out what type of tax, in what amount we owe where, and help us register and filing all the taxes. And while I don't anticipate that the same amount of expenses for accounting and finance tax due diligence will occur next year, it was a bigger than expected expense this year. And I wish that somebody told me when I was starting this that there's a lot of complicated tax involved when you sell online courses, digital products, coaching internationally, and you better get an accountant that is familiar with the space. That's what I wish. Please don't consider this tax advice. I am clearly not a specialist. My personal opinion is you clearly should get a specialist. And I know that's uncomfortable, but a really important conversation to have. The next important conversation to have is hours. So you know all those ads that tell you that you can do this, you can build a multiple six-figure business with 3 hours a day or 2 hours a day from your phone. I personally have no idea how to do this because I personally worked on average 35 hours a week throughout the whole year. This is my job. I treat this as my profession. I show up every single day if I want to or if I don't want to. And I do it in a way that I have checklists and to-do lists and protocols and standard operating procedures. And I take this really, really freaking seriously. And other than a job, I cannot go home, and just close the door and don't think about this. It's really important and sometimes also a lot more challenging than having a great corporate job. So I personally don't like the glorification of entrepreneurship and making it seem like you don't have to work hard, because in my experience you have to, at least potentially until a certain point. And don't get me wrong, I think 35 hours a week only is still, from my personal opinion, for me, a privilege, because I used to work all in contracts in corporate jobs where I earned a lot less and where I was also working really hard. And at least now I can really work really hard on something that fulfills me and brings me joy. And I feel like I'm building something. But I do miss the times where I was just not responsible for everything. And I could also, go home and just have like not think about it. And I know part of this is boundary setting and self-care and all of those things, but when you're like in it and you have a lot of people that you're committed to help, right, it's just sometimes not that easy. So for me personally, the 3 hour a day from my phone narrative doesn't work. And I also didn't invest only significantly more hours myself, but also paid people in different settings to support me. So in total, in 2023, I spent $367,000 on servicing my low ticket coaching memberships and all of my 25,900 customers on different levels. So I think, you can estimate how many hours you can buy for this amount. Okay, so so ours was the third uncomfortable conversation. The next uncomfortable conversation that I want to have with you is reinvesting in your business. And this is a little bit of a polarizing topic, as I learned, because many people feel like I'm overpaying on this end, but I do think that it works really well for me and for what I'm trying to achieve. So in 2023, I spent $953,000 on marketing and getting my business out there. I want to show you my ads manager that I now accidentally clicked away, and will open up again for you. Okay, I managed to ring it. Here you see the majority I spend on Facebook ads for the January 1st to December 31st. You see I reached over 7 million accounts, close to 8 million accounts, and I spent 819,000 euros just on the ads. And as you can see here, I'm restricted for advertising because although I'm spending almost $1 million a year on Facebook ads, and I know it's not almost $1 million, but like a not insignificant amount, I am not able to receive support from them, and they are reviewing my ID since July 31st, 2022. So I'm still able to run ads, but just not from my personal profile, although I get people to run Facebook ads, which is so ridiculous, but also an uncomfortable conversation to have, right? So quite a few people might think that aren't there more affordable ways to market your business, right? And aren't there like cheaper ways? And wasn't it that you can do TikTok and organic and then you don't have to pay? Well, that might all be true. I want to say that I had to start from the beginning with paid ads because I was at that time not together with my now husband and father of my child. And I was a single mom with a baby. I did not have the time to do organic marketing. Also, ever since I started doing it consistently, I never got a break that I went viral, like truly in any sort or meaningful way. And when my posts or efforts did reach more people, I also did not, reach the right type of people in a targeted way like I can do it with Facebook ads. Also, I want to say that only once my business was at a certain point, I was able to attract high quality affiliates and joint venture partners that were other organic marketing methods to grow my business. None of this has ever reached to the predictability and consistency of ads. And also, my focus in 2023 was not to pull out as much profitability as I can from my business. The purpose, the goal for 2023 was to improve my memberships, improve my products, invest in the service, and invest in getting them out there and getting them known. So I was willing to spend more on marketing because right now I care more about market share than I care about profitability. I want to have this business for a long time. I believe that it's great and it can make a difference, and I want to get it out there more than I want to grow in the most affordable way possible. I want to grow in the quickest way possible that is most aligned with my personal values, which just erases certain organic marketing methods that don't work for me. In addition to that, my services are low ticket. So certain types of funnels, certain types of tactics are not only disqualified from an ethical perspective, but they also disqualified from how my offer ecosystem works. And I don't want to raise my prices because for me personally, that's not aligned with my vision and what I want to bring to the world. This is why, the marketing expenses are this high and the profit margins are this low. I want to say that although my profit margins are relatively low, I actually celebrated that they became smaller. So with the way I'm doing the business in the last year, my profit margin was 31%. However, that was a private net income after tax of 219,000. So that's what I made in 2023. In 2022, in 2023, I still made significantly more with 616,000 in private net income. So I want to quickly highlight the key areas where I invested. Obviously, marketing, I already told you that in 2022, I quote unquote only invested 279,000. In 2023, I invested 955,000. But that also led to my email list growing from 3,000 people at the beginning, 3,400 people at the beginning of 2022 and 11,000 at the end of it, to 53,000 people by the end of 2023. And there is a lot of profitability that will flow back into my business over time, because I am playing a game of long-term relationship building and keeping my customers in a value surplus. I personally love the fairness of the membership model, where somebody only pays as long as they receive value from what you have to offer, and they can also tap in and out as they need your services. And from that perspective, I know that a lot of my profitability is flowing back over the months and years to come. So I'm really, really happily investing into building those relationships, may that be customer relationships already, or just nurturing a subscriber, somebody who got in touch with me. I also reached significantly more people, as you saw on my ad account. In 2022, I reached 2 million, and in 2023, 7.8 million. I also grew my customers from 2022, 14,000 to 25,900, and my subscribers from 4,000, which is the paying monthly members, from 4,878 to 8,385. And then service cost, I also touched based on that. So here you can see, usually you would want to have effects of scale, right? So your ratio of the service to the amount of members should actually improve over time. However, we, from my opinion, made significant improvements in the quality of how we service in the memberships, and I was able to take myself out of that a little bit. So it was improving the quality of service in the memberships. It was improving my personal life quality, which was really important to me. And also the way we were set up in 2022, we were not able to scale, right? And now we have a team where we are ready to scale it. Also, when you build a team, it takes a while until people are at the point where you actually can offload things, and where they're capable and knowledgeable enough to service at a certain level that you expect. So I also see that as an investment where I expect the returns flowing back in over the months and years to come. And then here in my post, I have a few smaller but noteworthy expenses. And you can read that if you're interested in. But I think I had the most uncomfortable but meaningful conversations that I wanted to have with you, which is that revenue does not equal your profits. Taxes is a thing, and requires attention and budget. Then also there is, if you really deeply care about delivering on the promise that your course, program, that your product, membership makes, very likely there's some sort of cost of service and delivery involved. I have not seen deeply transformative, completely hands-off solutions. I want to be honest. I think that the way people can transform in a setting where they have a support community, where they have calls, where they have Q&As, where they get their questions answered, I see that from a transformative perspective, how much action the individual takes. I really saw that contrast when we were selling a self-study course as well. And we saw the kind of how much material people consume from the course, right? And so we can just see that people take significantly less action on a self-study versus when they do have community, when they do have the opportunity to ask questions, to attend Q&As, to be on coaching calls. The transformation is just deeper. And I personally really care about the results, because I also deeply believe that getting people better results will ultimately help me to have this business that I deeply love and care about and want to reinvest in for a long time. And then marketing, right? Sometimes for me personally, it was not effective to get to this point with completely organic. I do love organic. You'll see me posting on here, YouTube and Instagram consistently. For me personally, that always worked better as a sort of kind of inbound in itself, it would have not been enough to carry my business even close to where it is today. But that is also influenced by the low ticket model that I'm running. But then again, that makes me deeply happy that I have it, because for me personally, it was the only way that I found to build this in a way that it's aligned with my personal values and the kind of life and life quality that I want to have. So I hope it was insightful. And yeah, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments and I'm happy to create follow-up videos. Thank you.